hei armsad, käes on neljapäev ja kell 13.30 nagu kokku lepitud, on meil täna imeline võimalus veeta aega koos Adam Barraleti ja Vanessa Ovens'iga, kes on valmis saanud juba päris tükk aega tagasi sellise imelise raamatuga nagu Gifts of the Essential Oils. Ja nagu ma olen sellest rääkinud, see on elumuutev raamat, sest et siin sees on tohutu informatsioon, taimede vägi, taimede jõud ja kõike sellest, mis siin raamatus on, nad räägivad meile tänases Zoomis. Mul on üüratult hea meel ka sellepärast, et meil on olemas tõlge ja kes vajavad täna nüüd ingliskeelset tõlget, siis palun valige alt French kanal, nagu meil tavaliselt ikka on olnud. Ja sealt siis kuuled kogu seda ettevõtmist eesti keeles, sest et nii Adam kui Vanessa on Austraaliast ja nad räägivad siis natukese aktsendiga, mis ei pruugi igale ühele kõige lihtsam arusaadav olla. Igal juhul ma loodan, et kõik sujub väga hästi. Kui on küsimusi, siis kirjutage palun chatti ja ma annangi sõna nüüd Adamile ja Vanessale. So Adam and Vanessa, I am so glad that you actually took my invitation and agreed to have this webinar. I absolutely love your book. It's actually all the time on my desk. It gives me the peace and inner knowing that there is something more in the world. So please go on with the webinar, and I'm already very thankful before everything starts. Please unmute yourself, Adam.
Thank you so much for the invite to share this time with you all. We're absolutely honored. And this is exciting for me and Vanessa because we've actually never worked with a translator and taught in, translated to Estonian before. So this is exciting for us as well. Now, for those of you that like astrology, I'm a Gemini. So I tend to talk really, really fast. So this is going to be a challenge for me tonight to try and slow it down so that everyone can understand what I'm saying. To introduce myself, to tell you a little bit about myself, I live in Perth in Western Australia. I live in the bushlands here, so surrounded by a lot of trees and kangaroos and a lot of nature. And this is where I grew up. And as I was growing up, I found when many teenagers would lock themselves in their bedroom and listen to loud music, I'd find myself out under the stars amongst the trees and pondering, what life was all about. So for me, as I continue to grow, I found comfort in things that were gifted from nature, whether those be animals and the wisdom that we get from the animal kingdom, or whether it be crystals and gems and stones, or whether it be plants and especially essential oils. I've been blessed to live in other places around the world, in other parts of Australia, in Toronto, in Canada, in New York City, and travel throughout Europe, although I haven't lived in Europe yet. And when I come back home, that groundingness of nature is what really fills me up. And so this book is kind of an outpouring of what I've learned throughout my life, and I hope we can share a little bit with you tonight. I'll hand over to Vanessa to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. It's such a joy to be here and connect with you all. Thank you so much for having us. This is something for me that, being here with Adam and with all of you, I feel like, this is my heart song coming to life. When we brought this book, Gifts of the Essential Oils, into the world, it's a culmination of our wisdom, yes, our collective wisdom, but really what we wanted to bring through was the voice of Mother Earth, who we affectionately call Mama Gaia. So for me, this is like a dream come true. This is a portal or a doorway for all of you to step into and connect more deeply with the spirit of the plants. which is how I grew up. I grew up very connected to the voice of the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the crystals. It doesn't matter. Like, I just found all of us were one. And so I knew we were all here in this space of love and wanted to bring this alive into the world. So lots of qualifications, but I am a clinical aromatherapist, but my passion is with spiritual aromatherapy. And we hope that tonight, as we journey through the elements and play with the essential oils, it brings you lots of joy and new ways to use the essential oils, to blend the essential oils, to get them on your body and into your lives. So without further ado, welcome. Thank you for having us. And we hope you love tonight's journey. Yeah, thank you.
Now, we actually love our webinars to be interactive, and we will have a bit of a challenge with those that don't speak English tonight. But, feel free to use the chat function. And Margaret, maybe if I can ask you to, interpret or butt in occasionally and let us know if there are any questions that we can answer at any time, because we want this time to be what you want to get out of this, as well as what we want to share with you. Does that work for you, Margaret?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Great.
Adam, your camera's not on, just so that you know.
Sorry. There we go. I've been having some lighting problems. Awesome. So without further ado, let's dive into what we wanted to share with you this evening. So first of all, tonight is based around our book that myself and Vanessa created a couple of years ago now, called Gifts of the Essential Oils. Now, if you happen to have this book, thank you very much. But if you don't worry, you're still going to get a lot out of the next 90 minutes. As we were writing the book, what we wanted to do, or what we started to realize, is when you come to understand the plant that gives us the essential oil, you get to understand the oil. Perhaps in the past you've seen a movie on someone's life or read an autobiography, and you're like, now I understand why that person made those decisions in their life, or why they behaved in that way. And that's what we found as well. So tonight, what we want to share with you is, when you look at the plant, it's going to tell you a lot about the essential oil, even if you have never even experienced that essential oil before. Now, in our book, we explore a whole range of different things. First of all, we look at the actual plant, where it's native to, how big it grows, the color of its fruit, its flowers, its leaves, all these different types of things as well. We know that people love the emotional aspect of the essential oils, and so we cover them in each chapter. And you can see here each oil, and we have over 100 oils in our book, is given a double spread. And there we'll look at how rose would help you emotionally, or geranium, or whichever oil is on that page. We also believe that people of the past lived a lot more in tune with nature. They relied on plants for more food, for their only form of medicine. And so they had a close relationship. And a lot of their stories and their mythology kind of gives us an impression, or teaches us about that plant, because of that intimate relationship they had. So you'll find stories from Europe, from North America, from Australia, New Zealand, all weave through the pages to help you understand how people of the past actually associated and related to this plant as well. Traditionally, all around the world, plants have been used to attract love into our life, to bring more abundance, and to offer energetic protection. And we offer guidance on how you can use the different oils in order to do that as well. We also like to weave in different aspects, such as working with crystals, working with the chakra energy system, those 7 energy points in our body, with food, and so much more. What you'll see at the top of each page is 3 what we call anchoring words or key themes. So maybe there's an oil that is brand new to you, that you just like to, discover a little bit more about. And you'll find 3 keywords at the top that'll tell you a little bit about that. So, for example, Arbor Vitae. Its keywords are standing strong, repelling, and divine assistance. And in a short while, I'll talk a little bit more about Arbor Vitae, and you'll see how those 3 words dance together to help you understand a little bit more about Arbor Vitae.
So we also found, as we dove into a deeper connection with each of the plants, each of the essential oils, that it was so useful to attach them to a daily practice or a devotion. This practice can be one of self-love. It can be one of manifestation. It can be one that helps you transition from one point in your life to the next. And what you can do is the practice and inhale or use the essential oil while you're using this practice to create what we call an aromatic anchor. So every time you smell that essential oil, it brings you back into the space you choose to be as you use that practice. We have at the bottom of each page, as you can see, a beautiful affirmation which you can use in your daily life. Wild Orange, for instance, says, I choose to live joyously this day. So you can take the lid off and inhale deeply of your Wild Orange while you say in your mind or out loud, I choose to live joyously this day. And again, you create this powerful aromatic anchor so that every time you smell it, it alters your brain state, it alters your emotional state and brings you into deeper harmony, not just with the plant, but with the statement you're making and indeed in your life. So this is beautiful. Each essential oil has a full page dedication with 3 master blends per essential oil. So they deliver to you powerful, potent, and purposeful blends. You can use these as master blends by upcycling one of these bottles and placing the number of essential oils in there, in this case 4, in that bottle, and then you can decanter it, you can make roller bottles with it, spritzer bottles, pop them in your diffuser, whatever you like. The idea is to have joy with this. So a couple of things I want to share with you. One is sometimes you might see in the blends essential oils that you don't have yet. That's okay. One thing you can do is, it's going to sound strange, but it's true because plants are vibrational. You can just close your eyes if you want and call the energy of that particular plant or that essential oil to you. So if you don't have star anise, for instance, in that blend, you ask the star anise, the spirit of star anise, to bless you and to bless the blend. The second way is you can replace it with something else. Now you'll notice on all of our master blends, we don't put the number of drops. And the reason is because you are sovereign, magnificent, intelligent beings. Your nose knows exactly what you need, right? So I might want 3 drops of fennel and 2 of the others, but you might only want 2 drops of fennel and 3 of everything else, right? So the way to determine how many drops, it's very simple, is to take the essential oil bottles, take the lids off, and place them all at even level under your nose. And just take a deep, deep breath. You might want to take a couple of breaths and then begin to notice what you're drawn to more, what you want less of and what you want more of. And what you want more of, put closer to your nose, then draw back what you want less of, and then the other one, what you want less of. So you end up with, say, 3 drops, 2 drops, 1 drop. By the way, the blend that I have in my hand is Madagascar vanilla, frankincense, and tulsi, and it is amazing. So just take a deep breath, and then you can use that blend in the diffuser, wherever you like, on your body, in fractionated coconut oil, your aromatic dressing. And if you want to, you can use the blend. Each blend has a beautiful blurb with it, a little summary. You can use that blend to change something that's been happening in your life. Maybe we're at full moon right now, so use one of our full moon blends, yeah? And if we suggest you spritz it around, you might do something like that. So you just have fun with this and use them any way you like and use them often and much. And remember, each essential oil has its own affirmation and practice, so you can even use the blends to go with those as well. Yeah, I hope that helps. If there are any questions, let us know.
So tonight we wanted to take you through a journey of the 4 elements. These are air, fire, earth, and water. Now, you may have heard of these before when it comes to traditional astrology, and we know that we are either an earth sign or an air sign or so on. Now, when it comes to essential oils, we've categorized them into these different elements, but we didn't ask them when they were born. What we did is we looked at what part of the plant they came from. And we started to see this ongoing trend of oils that were gifted from the same part of the plant. And so today we're going to journey through those different elements and the different parts of the plant which give us essential oils. So first of all, starting with the element of earth. Now, when we look at the element of earth, hold on, mute someone for a second. Beautiful, thank you. So any oil that is gifted from either the bark of a plant, the wood of a plant, or the root of a plant, we connect it to the element of earth. Now, whether it be those star signs of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or whether it just be the earth beneath our feet, words that kind of dance around with this element of earth are grounding, stability, resilience, boundaries, and support. And we're going to illustrate that by talking about a few of the different oils. So I'll start off by talking a little bit about 3 wood oils that we get in our doTERRA essential oil range: arbor vitae, cedarwood, and sandalwood. Now, all of these are big, strong trees, but as we get to know the tree a little bit more, we'll get to understand how its strength and stability shines through. So first of all, arbor vitae, a variety of cypress tree that's native to North America. Now, the oil is so thick in the trunk of this tree that nothing will bore into it. It doesn't rot. And even when it falls over at the end of its life, it takes hundreds of years to decompose because that oil is so thick in there and repels everything. So are there times in your life when you feel like you just want to be left alone, where everyone wants your attention or help with something, or they need you to do a favor for them? Maybe the kids, maybe your partner, maybe your colleagues or your friends, and you just kind of need some time by yourself, and you need to be strong enough to say, I need some me time. This is where we can lean into arbor vitae when times are a little bit crazy. It's about looking after ourselves and being strong in that way. Remember also that one of the key words that we used for arbor vitae was divine assistance. And the arbor vitae trees grow very high and very tall towards the heavens. They help us that when we stop worrying about what everyone else needs and worry about our own needs, then we can connect with the heavens, the creator, and what we're here to do and fulfill our purpose rather than trying to help everyone else with their divine or life purpose. Then we move to cedarwood, another big tree. Its roots go deep into the ground, but its branches tend to stretch out rather than the focus growing straight upwards. Historically, in both Europe and North America, because the cedarwood trees would grow so tall, they'd be used for wood and lumber to build halls and churches where the community would gather. And so there has always been this kind of strong association with cedarwood and community and people coming together. Cedarwood, or the cedar tree, is also associated with the sun and the summer solstice. And so where the cedarwood oil helps us is it helps us to embrace our community and having that connection to the sun to shine out in our community. Now, there may be some of you that at times feel that you dull your light or you can't be who you truly are out in the world, maybe at work, maybe with a group of people, maybe with friends or whatever that may be. And cedarwood helps you to feel grounded and strong and confident to shine who you are. In the last 2 years with the pandemic, it varies from country to country, but many people have spent a lot of time isolated and away from other people, and we're not sure how to interact with other people. But as humans, we're communal. We have a need to be around other people. And cedarwood is a really great oil to work with right now to feel confident stepping back out in the world and being with other people and embracing other people. Now, what kind of relationships do we want to embrace people with? This is where we move to sandalwood. And you can look at either Hawaiian sandalwood or Indian sandalwood here. Vanessa and I were actually blessed and invited by doTERRA to go to Hawaii, where they have rebought a massive farmland area that was once native forest and have committed to replanting that back to its natural vegetation. And as part of that, they will grow Hawaiian sandalwood trees that in 30 years' time will give us our essential oils. So Vanessa and I got to go and plant some little seedlings that will grow into those big trees. But as we're planting them, we learned that you can't just plant one sandalwood tree and another sandalwood tree and another sandalwood tree. Next week, you must plant another native plant like a koa tree. Because as the sandalwood grows, it actually reaches out and holds onto the root system of other trees and relies on that tree for different nutrients, such as nitrogen. And so what sandalwood can help us with, it helps us to attract the right people into our lives. And in fact, the constituents of sandalwood are similar to a male pheromone. So men, especially wearing sandalwood, it helps to make them more attractive. But on a more magical level or spiritual level, sandalwood actually can help us to all, regardless of male, female, or what gender we identify as, can allow us to attract people that serve us, allow us to reach out like the sandalwood reaches out to the other trees and goes, I need you. Let's work together so that we can both thrive. So if you want to attract your soul family, people that really nurture you and help you on your divine path, then this is where sandalwood can be really great. So do you see how each of these tree oils, all associated with that element of earth, all bring us strength? Whether it be arbor vitae, if I need to stand strong on my own for a little while. Cedarwood, I need to stand strong in my community. Or sandalwood, I am strong through the relationships I build that are really helpful. Yes, I love sandalwood as well. So I'm going to hand over to Vanessa and I'll ask her to share a little bit about the other parts of the plant that give us essential oils that are associated with earth, the barks and the roots.
Yeah. So the barks are cassia and cinnamon bark. And we find them in different blends that doTERRA creates, right? And those blends are often warming and often we feel like we're getting a warm hug from them. Yeah. The roots, which is vetiver and spikenard, they are deeply calming. They help to slow down the brain waves and to slow the overactivity of the brain. They help us to feel earthed, connected, strong. Then the rhizomes, turmeric and ginger, they are continually guiding us into that inner ray of sunshine within us. They're warming, they're activating, they're phenomenal for digestion, and they're very anchoring. So let's begin with the bark essential oils, cassia and cinnamon bark. Cassia is one of my favorite essential oils. It is an incredible, powerful, sweet cousin to cinnamon bark. So I want to show you this photo in case some of you don't have our book yet. You'll get it though. The cassia has the quill. This is the quill. People often think that that's cinnamon. That's actually cassia. The cinnamon is the bark. That's the shards that you see, the pieces that you see. So let me just show you there. Can you see the difference? Now, both of them work on protecting the tree. They act like armor or that layer of protection on the tree. And metaphysically, they do the same for us. They can bring us protection. That's why they're often in immune system blends or energy repellent blends or also blends that you want to create so you feel embraced by love. Cassia has that sweetness akin to the angelic realm. Cinnamon has that deeper spice that brings us into awakening our sensuality and our sexuality. It's a powerful aphrodisiac, right? So something like cinnamon bark and vanilla and jasmine, touch of neroli, that's like this beautiful, sensual, awaken your libido, awaken your inner goddess or godliness, right? Cassia helps us to connect with the angelic realm. So we have a beautiful blend in here, embrace of an angel. And do you remember I said that we have these beautiful little blurbs for each? So the blend is cassia, melissa, and tangerine. So the gift cassia brings us is self-assurance. The key words we have for cassia are warmth, embracing, and reverence. So the embrace of an angel, that blend helps you during times of challenge to just call on that heavenly assistance, that divine assistance, yeah? Then let's go to the rhizomes. Then you have turmeric and ginger, and both are like bringing rays of sunshine into your life. They're warming oils. They help to calm the digestive system or activate the digestive system if you need that. Turmeric is around inclusiveness. So a beautiful one, if you want to, you can combine with cedarwood and something like wild orange. That's bringing community in joyous interactions, including everyone in an open, expansive way. Turmeric's also about self-acceptance, radiance. So maybe you want to pair your turmeric with something like bergamot for that liquid sunshine feeling that comes from bergamot. So the rhizomes, if you imagine, they're like an anchor on a boat. The boat can drift away a little on the water, but it will always come back to the anchor point because the anchor is there holding it to that point. It's not going to drift off too far. It won't go too far off course. So the rhizomes have to keep you on course. They permeate the earth so beautifully. They penetrate the physical earth, and then their roots kind of splay out and they go into a bit of depth, but usually rounded in this beautiful bundle. It's gorgeous to see. We grow turmeric, but that's what it looks like there. It's sublime, earthy outer exterior, and then inside this beautiful bright orange. It's gorgeous. It has such an earthy scent. Then we move on to the roots. So vetiver and spikenard are actually amazing for the brain. Anyone with an overactive mind, anyone who feels like they can't sleep, they can't rest very well, they can't meditate, they can't switch off, spikenard and vetiver are phenomenal supports. You can either blend them together with something like frankincense and blue tansy, and again, a bit of bergamot wouldn't go astray, to go into a restful state or meditative state. Spikenard is around seeing your own divinity. And vetiver is working with your core needs and grounding those needs in. This is that place where you go into yourself so deeply, where you honor and reveal yourself again. You connect with Mother Earth when you're working with the roots. You connect with her in deep reverence, in deep gratitude. Yeah? They help lift you out of a spiral that can often have you descending into a dark mood, a dark space, and into a more expansive space. Yeah? So you can use them on your root chakra, the base chakra, but you can also use them, something like spikenard with, I talked about Tulsi earlier, with Tulsi on your crown chakra to help open your crown chakra and connect you with your own divinity, for you to have reverence. So there's different ways you can do it. And of course, if you don't have Tulsi, you could use something like lavender, yeah, with the spikenard. So let's move on to the beautiful floral queendom. There are so many flowers that we have to choose from in this next element of water. We would love to hear from you which ones you would love for us to go deeper into and talk about. So maybe if they can speak that in the chat, Margrit, and you let us know what they want. Yeah. Adam, we can't hear you, darling.
Sorry about that. So we know that doTERRA likes to surprise us with new essential oils from time to time. And you will now know that any oil that's gifted from the wood, the bark, or the root, from now on, will have these energies of grounding, stability, resilience, boundaries, and support. So the element of water, that is associated with flowers. And when you think about flowers, what is the action of a flower? It's to open. And so each flower in one way or another will help us to open. Now, sometimes in life, what happens is we close off from pain or, to protect ourselves from pain or hurt. However, we also, when we do that, shut down for the opportunity to be loved and to experience love. So by working with the flowers, we can actually reopen to love and heal our hurt and heal our pain and heal our heart. Now, there was a tradition in ancient Greece and ancient Rome where they would connect the different colors of the flower with the planets in the sky. And each planet also ruled a day of the week. So all the oils that are gifted maybe from white flowers, such as jasmine, magnolia, and yarrow, have a connection to the moon. Whereas oils that are gifted from yellow flowers, like ylang-ylang or helichrysum, have a connection to Mercury. So let us take you on a journey of just a few of those oils. Let's have a look. Is there any requests? We've got rose.
So if you want to start with rose, Adam.
Yeah, definitely. So rose, as I said before, there are many different myths and stories from all around the world that are kind of shared in our book. And what you'll normally notice is it was normally one god or one goddess who would come and would create the flower somehow. However, the story of rose took a whole pantheon of gods and goddesses. First of all, there was the goddess Flora, and she found the body of a beautiful nymph laying on the ground, but wanted to preserve her. So she turned her into a flower. But then she called upon Aphrodite and asked Aphrodite to bless this flower with divine beauty. She then called upon Dionysus. I'm not sure if you've heard of the god Dionysus. He was the god of wine. And so she asked Dionysus to give this flower an alluring nectar, an alluring aroma. She then asked Zephyrus, the god of the west winds and the direction of love, to blow the clouds out of the way so that Apollo, the god of the sun, could shine his light upon the rose and it could blossom and bloom towards the light. Isn't that a beautiful story to show you how much love and effort and energy from the heavens came into creating the rose? Now, as we know, roses are long associated with love, and roses associated particularly with unconditional love. Now, I often hear people say, oh, I love my partner unconditionally, or I love my kids unconditionally. But I always like to challenge that and say, if you came home and found out that maybe your husband was having an affair and had burnt down your house and thrown away all your essential oils, would you still love him? And the answer is probably no. Now, that's an extreme example, but think about how often we get disappointed by someone who's in our life for not fulfilling an expectation that we have. They forget to pick up something from the grocery store on the way home. They forget our birthday or an anniversary, and we get angry. And what Rose wants to teach us is, what if we could love those people without those expectations, without those conditions, and just love them for who they are? Because what happens from the moment we're born, we realize that behaving in one way, my parents like it, and behaving in another way, my parents don't like it. And so we start to change our behavior as people. If we give other people the opportunity that we love them no matter what, it then grants us the ability to be who we truly are and to make decisions based on our heart and based on what we want to do, rather than what will make my family happy or what will make my friends happy or what will make society happy. So Rose helps to lift us It reminds us of our true beauty and who we truly are, and reminds us that if we don't open up and show our beauty to the world, then the world misses out. And so it's a really nice one to help us to let go of expectations on other people, but also to not worry about the expectations people place on us, and to show our divine true beauty. So it's a really beautiful oil to use each and every day, and I love it for that.
Thanks, Adam. We have Lang Ylang as a request there. So where Rose has this very queenly energy, and even her chemistry is, her chemistry is fantastic for anyone on skincare and face care, but even her chemistry lends herself toward being for that more mature skin, queen skin, right? Lang Ylang, on the other hand, has this very youthful energy, maiden energy, just like something like, taking your hand and, walking you through that passage that we go through from young girl into maiden, right? So Lang Ylang has this very dreamy quality to her, very romantic. So she's a beautiful one to connect you with those long forward dreams, to connect you with the romance of whatever those dreams are, writing a book maybe, completing a piece of art, learning a musical instrument maybe. Those kind of romantic notions that we're often swayed away from because that's not what a responsible adult does. Lang Ylang says, open your heart again to those beautiful dreams. Let yourself be who you always wanted to be. So she is a beautiful one to soothe the mind. So a great one to team up with something like vetiver. Remember I was saying vetiver slows down the brainwaves. You could do vetiver, Lang Ylang, and maybe add some lavender or Roman chamomile if you like those, as a beautiful sleep blend. She's also great to help de-stress, reduce that sense of worry, of anxious feelings. So a great one in the bathtub. Maybe you want to put some Lang Ylang and lavender, or Lang Ylang and rosemary, a Lang Ylang and marjoram even, or just a Lang Ylang on its own, in some Epsom salts, and just bathe and allow yourself to be sweetly sedated. A Lang Ylang takes us into that kind of tropical feel, So she's that joyous, playful, Tahitian goddessy energy, very young and playful, gets you dancing and moving. She's also a beautiful one to help you heal if you've gone through any trauma, sexual trauma. You could pair her up with rose and myrrh, for instance, or some copaiba or frankincense if it's particularly around the masculine. So she works beautifully with the heart chakra, for those of you that like to work spiritually and work with your chakras. And you could pair a Lang Ylang with something like green mandarin and pink pepper if you wanted. 3 beautiful heart chakra oils. I can see magnolia that's come up there, and I'll let Adam speak to magnolia, but magnolia is probably magnolia, rose, blue tansy, and yarrow palm. They're the 3 I use every day for different reasons. Actually, helichrysum too. I'll tell you how. So rose is amazing for full body care and also face care. So after you use maybe your favorite doTERRA moisturizer, you can anoint yourself with some rose. What I love to do is take the doTERRA moisturizer and I put some blue tansy in my hand and yarrow palm, and then I massage that over my face. And during the day, I'll put, you can see I wear glasses, so my eyes get quite sore, quite tired. And I'll put helichrysum around my eyes and just over the bridge of my forehead, just to calm and soothe that whole area. And the chemistry of helichrysum can be quite great for enhancing eyesight as well. And then in the evening, I do the same thing. I do my blue tansy in my moisturizer with or without the yarrow palm for night. Just depends what I feel like. And then I'll put magnolia around all of my eyes, across my forehead, swipe under my nose because she's very soothing. She has a very high percentage of linalool, over 70%. And then I place her and I'll anoint my heart chakras, both of them, the higher and the lower heart. I'll also anoint my wrist. I mean, I love to smell the magnolia as I'm going to sleep. I curl up on my side. But I'll also just take her and anoint I'll show you with my osmanthus. I haven't got my magnolia here, but I'll just kind of anoint like this and go all the way up my arm and to my heart center, and then just roll that over and massage it over. And sometimes I'll do like the infinity symbol there or the love heart. I know Adam loves to do love heart with magnolia. And then the last thing I'll say about magnolia as far as anointing goes, for sacred womb work, any women, you know, dealing with trauma around the womb. So if it's your monthly cycle or, of course, any violation, maybe pregnancy trauma, anything like that, or birthing traumas, rose, magnolia, and myrrh are fantastic. Now, I just want to mention, when obviously we just had the doTERRA Global Convention and we can't all get this in country yet, but as soon as we can, as soon as you can get your hands on vanilla, put the vanilla in that blend as well. Vanilla is amazing for the womb also, and just our sex organs, and helping us to just kind of recalibrate and come back. So you can see working with these florals really helps us as women, helps men as well, but I'm just speaking to the women for now. I am a woman in this life. Adam can cover the man aspect. Helps us women to deal with a lot of the stuff that we've gone through from the time that we started our menstruation, our moon bleeds, right through to the time of birthing, right through to, you know, perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. The floral kingdom, or queendom, as I like to say, they're helping us to just kind of come back to peace, come back to harmony with ourselves, and to really honor our bodies. So you want to get them in carrier oils and get them all over your body and aromatically dress every day. Yeah? Okay, Adam, do you want to speak about magnolia a little, darling?
So just briefly, there was 3 flowers that are associated with the moon. And if you've been watching the sky over the last couple of nights, you'll realize the moon is getting fuller and fuller. And on Friday evening, it'll be the full moon. Now, my oils that I love to lean into around the full moon are those white floral oils. And jasmine is perfect. Now, you'll notice in our book that Vanessa and I refer to some of the oils as he or her. And that's not because we believe they are male or female, but just that they have more of a feminine or a masculine energy about them. So when it came to jasmine, we got stuck because jasmine has a very feminine, queenly kind of energy, but it's also sometimes referred to as the king of the flowers. But then we realized that jasmine has a strong connection to the moon. And what makes the moon beautiful and full? The moon is actually a dark grey colour, the colour of our roads, of bitumen or asphalt. It is the sun, which is the symbol of the masculine, shining on the feminine that makes her luminous. So it's actually the merging of the masculine and feminine. And this is what jasmine is as well. Jasmine brings our masculine side. We all have a masculine side, which is objective, plans, has timelines, has structure, progressive, and it combines that with our feminine side. We all have a feminine side that has feelings, that nurtures, that cares for certain things. And when we combine these two together, we can create whatever we want. So jasmine helps us. Is there anyone who maybe gets a little bit crazy or a lunatic around the full moon? Then jasmine helps us to move with that gentle, magical energy of that time. Now, there is a common practice all around the world of making a wish or planting a goal around the full moon, or something we'd like to change in our lives. And we often say, universe, moon, bring me more love, bring me more money, bring me something different. But the universe doesn't home deliver. It wants to meet you halfway. Neroli has a long tradition of being associated with enticement and beckoning you out of your comfort zone. It is said that nymphs would use the scent of neroli to seduce young men and women out of their bedchambers at night for a night of pleasure and ecstasy. There are brides that would use neroli on their first night with their new husband. Ladies of the night would use the scent of neroli to seduce clients. And even Cleopatra used both neroli and jasmine and anointed the sails of her boats when she sailed up the Nile to seduce Mark Antony. So neroli with us beckons us out of our comfort zone, Because if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And neroli gives us the confidence and the ability to start to make the changes to match what the universe is bringing to us as well. Now, magnolia is a little bit different. She's an older tree. She's been around for a long, long time on this planet, longer than bees. She used to rely on beetles to pollinate her. So she's a grandmotherly energy. And she comes in with that reassurance. And when we're worried about something, worried that we can't pay a bill, or worried what's going to happen on this weekend, she's like, love, I've been through many wars and many famines and many husbands, and it's all going to be fine. And that's why I like to put her on my chest at night, because sometimes we feel that we're not good enough. And Magnolia reassures us and says, you are enough. You may not have done everything today, but that's fine. So these are just a little blessing about some of the flower oils and how we can work with them and bring them into our life for different things. So now you know, whenever there is a floral oil that doTERRA brings out, it's going to help us open up in one way or another to the magic of the world like Jasmine does, or to the love of the world like Rose does, or to open up to changing things like neroli does in that way. So then we move on to the element of air. And this is actually a lot of essential oils come into the air family, because a lot of essential oils are gifted from leaves. Now, some plants are very small. Think about our herbs like our peppermint or our basil or our patchouli. These small leaf oils help us to focus the mind. Then we have big trees that give us oils from their leaves or their needles. Think about spruces and firs and eucalyptuses. These help us to open our mind to brand new ideas. So sometimes we need to focus on what's happening for us right now. And other times we need to open our mind to new ideas and be creative. And so these oils are really great to, I always say, get them in you, on you, or around you, however you can safely use them. But especially with the air oils, diffusing them and breathing them in can be really great. When we think about how we feel when we go out in the wind, maybe you stand out and let the wind blow past, and they say, oh, it helps to blow the cobwebs out of our mind. It helps us to think. When we can't think clearly, we need to go outside and get some fresh air. And so the air oils will help us with that as well. So I'd love to know, are there any leaf oils that are your favorites? Or maybe you've got a leaf oil from the doTERRA range that's sitting in the box and you never use it. Are there any you'd like to know about? Margaret, have you got a favorite leaf oil?
Yes, actually I do, patchouli.
Patchouli, awesome. Let me talk about that. And I noticed someone's also asked for Melissa. So let me talk about those two. Keep on adding which ones you like to hear about, and Vanessa can choose a couple more after that as well. Okay, so first of all, Melissa. There was a 16th century physician who believed that one drop of Melissa could bring someone near death back to life. Amazing. And any of the oils, and there's a lot of oils that have a lemon aroma or lemon scent to them, they're associated with light. So we call on Melissa and we bring Melissa in when we just, when I feel exhausted, when I can't go on, when I'm giving up hope. That's where Melissa is really, really beautiful. Melissa is, for me, a visual of Melissa is, sometimes when it's a cloudy day and then the sun just starts to shine and you see those rays coming down to the earth. That's what Melissa does for us. Melissa is strongly connected to bees. And when bees fly around a plant, what are they looking for? They're looking for the flowers because that's the sweet spot. They're looking for the good bit. And Melissa is a really great oil to help us look for the sweet spot or the positive or the silver lining, to be optimistic, to be positive. Now, patchouli is very different. Patchouli is a really interesting essential oil because it's been used for decades now as a bit of an aphrodisiac. And a little bit of it can have an aphrodisiac effect. But in fact, if you have too much of it, it can have the opposite effect. So how does this translate magically? Patchouli has been used to attract what we want into our lives, whether that be love or abundance, but also it's been used to detract unwanted visitors from the house. So a practice of actually using oils such as a combination of rosemary and patchouli and putting a few drops either in your letterbox or your doormat with the intention of, I only want people that bring joy and happiness and laughter into my house to come in. And patchouli and rosemary, which is also very protective, really, really helps to bring that blessing in as well. You could also pop that in a diffuser or in a spray bottle and spritz it around. But patchouli helps you to bring in what you want into your life and get rid of what you don't. So it's very much about discernment in that type of way. Vanessa, did you want to choose a couple of oils to talk about?
Sure. I saw basil and marjoram up there, so I'll do those two. Okay, so these two are phenomenal. I love both of these. They're fantastic for, if you think of the physical body, to relax the body, to take you out of contraction and tension, and to just bring deep peace. They actually do this with the mind as well. And at the same time, while they're relaxing the mind, that gives us greater leverage to be able to focus. So in the leaf family, we have two types of leaves. We have leaves from these small bushes or trees like basil and marjoram, or we have the leaves from the grander, larger trees like spruce and firs. Yeah. So the smaller leaves, if you imagine, help to bring our focus and fine tune our focus. The larger leaves help to give us this fresh, broad perspective. Both bring in new perspectives, just in a different way. One allows us to look at a new perspective from on high, like an eagle circling above. Out of the situation, able to look down into it. The leaves, something like basil, for instance, you'll see in our book, we've written there, it puts a scorpion in the mind. This is an old saying with basil, which helps you to really focus cleanly, precisely onto what it is you want. Maybe what you want to manifest, what you need to work on for studying. The marjoram is a soothing, calming essential oil. So this is a gorgeous one in the bath, for instance, to relax muscles. A beautiful one in your massage oils. It's a gorgeous one to help us to come into a space of softness within ourselves. So this is like the ultimate self-care essential oil. When you want softness, loving touch for yourself, maybe you want to massage a child, you know, with something like marjoram and Roman chamomile and lavender, just to help relax their muscles or growing pains. The gift that marjoram brings is contented unions. So she's a gorgeous one to pair up with rose, coming into deeper love for the self and care of the self. Or with external contented unions between you and a beloved, you and a child or a teen or young adult, whatever, however old your kids are now. So marjoram actually is this beautiful, I feel like the herbs are so underused, this beautiful essential oil to remind you to care for yourself, to go gently in life, to not rush all of the time and try and fit as much as you can in a day. Marjoram says just take a deep breath, connect and feel if this is actually right for you right now. And if the answer is no, leave it. Move on to what's great, what feels good for you. Marjoram is an amazing one for grief as well. So anyone experiencing grief or loss, trauma, marjoram is a beautiful ally on our own or combined with other essential oils. Yep.
Now, very, very quickly, I just wanted to also, I know that we have the ancient oils collection available in Europe at the moment. So I just want to give you, there's 3 leaf oils in there, and I want to talk about them just very, very quickly each.
Yep.
Common myrtle. Common myrtle is associated with your magnetism. Now, a lot of the time we feel in life we have to go, chase. And common myrtle helps us to rely that we are good enough and to attract what we want into our lives. Cistus is, if I could give you an analogy for cistus, I want you to think about the phoenix rising out of the ashes. It's about resurrection, about coming back, recreating yourself. And it's a really timely oil as we come out of the pandemic and we've learnt new things, and this is a new, different world, and how will we be different? Now, hyssop, I get really excited about hyssop. Hyssop, there are lots of oils that are used for cleansing space. Lemongrass, eucalyptus, you know, people have used all different plants all around the world. But in my opinion, hyssop is the number one. It's the best. It is being used to even scare off the angel of death himself. And so this is a great oil to have to dispel unwanted energy, or when you've had a really rough time and you need to really get rid of things, then grab your hyssop. So maybe when you're starting a new time in your life, use the hyssop to get rid of the unwanted. Use the sisters to help you put it on your heart and allow yourself to be reborn as a new version of yourself. And then use the myrtle, common myrtle, to allow you to attract what you now desire in your life as well. Right.
Thank you so much, Adam, for this this overview of these oils.
My pleasure. It's always difficult when doTERRA brings out new oils and there isn't too much information about them. We can find out lots about lavender or lemon, but you know, these rare oils, I get excited by them. And so, yeah, it's hard when no one knows how amazing they are, and it takes a bit of time. So if you haven't got the ancient oils, and if it's in the budget, maybe, you know, save up a bit of money. It's definitely a good one worth having, I assure you. Okay, so now we know that any oil from a leaf is about thought, intellect, perspective, freedom, and focus. Let's look at that last element, the element of fire. What do we think of when we think of fire? Not just destruction, but, you know, certain things like the cistus plant, in fact, it drops its seeds each year, but they don't grow the next season. It waits until a wildfire goes through and the seed pods crack open, and then the new cistus plants come up. So fire closes some doors, but opens others. Fire is also associated with passion and exuberance, courage and action. It's all about change. Now, one of the interesting things about the fruit oils is that they're beautiful colors. And what we've found is the color of the fruit can connect it to the chakras, which are the energy centers of the body. And so the heart chakra is that green and pink. So any green, like green mandarin or lime or pink pepper, can be connected with that in that type of way. So let us talk a little bit about some of these fruit oils, and please pop in the chat any that you'd like to hear about. And I saw one of my favorites. I'm going to talk about juniper berry. I love juniper berry. It has so many uses. It's been used since Babylonian and Sumerian times. First of all, to clear, they would burn the branches and burn the fruit to get rid of unwanted energy. So it's another cleansing one. And we also know that if we have a drop of juniper berry in water, it actually is really good for cleansing the kidneys. So some of us, you may have heard of the term, in English we call it an empath. I'm not sure what the term would, yep, Margaret's nodding her head. So an empath. And this is someone who really connects to people deeply emotionally, and sometimes can get overwhelmed when there's a lot of people around, or a lot of emotional energy around, or you know, after you've had an emotional interaction with someone, you carry that for a long, long time, and it weighs you down. Now, just like juniper berry helps us to get rid of things in our kidneys and our urinary system, it also helps us to get rid of unwanted emotions. In Australia, we kind of joke and say, when you're pissed off, you use juniper berry. And it's really good for helping to get rid of that if you're physically or emotionally. It's cleansing in that way. The other exciting thing about that is being a deep blue fruit. It's associated with this chakra here, known as the third eye chakra. And this is about our intuition as well as our intellect. It's how we understand the world. So whenever I like to do tarot readings, and I'll always have a glass of juniper berry in water. and it allows me to connect with my intuition and be able to read for these people, but also allows me to connect with them and let that go afterwards as well. The final thing I want to say about juniper berry is you'll notice that, we've got all these citrus fruits, so many citrus oils, and they're all different in one way or another. But then we have oils, what we call oils of the darkness, and these are juniper berry and black pepper. Now, darkness isn't evil. It's not bad. Darkness is where the mystery is and where the growth is. Where juniper berry encourages us to explore that which we haven't explored yet, because that's where the treasure is. Think about when we were younger, maybe we'd never driven a car. Maybe we'd never drunk alcohol. Maybe we'd never kissed anyone. And we were nervous about that. But we did that and we grew as a person. And juniper berry is my favorite oil also for helping to clear away any fear, clear away any negativity, and clear away any over irrational emotion that stops us from going and doing new things in our lives. As we get older, we sometimes get into our comfort zone and stop growing, or we're scared to keep growing. And juniper berry says, keep going into the dark caves of things you haven't explored yet, because it's in the caves, that's where the treasure is hidden. And so I love juniper berry. One of my favorite ways to use it is I love to mix 2 or 3 drops with either fractionated coconut oil or the rose hand lotion, and I rub it on the soles of my feet each night. And it's used to stop kids getting nightmares, but I also find that it also helps you to dream more. And it allows me to have more deep and more vivid dreams. So give that a shot if you haven't ever tried that before. It's really great in that way. Vanessa, I'll hand over to you.
Sure. We had red mandarin there, so I'll cover red mandarin. Red mandarin is so we have green mandarin that doTERRA has brought out. We've had yellow mandarin. Green mandarin is perfect. Yellow mandarin is like an exciting summer offering once in a while that we get, and red mandarin as well. So red mandarin, we've spoken about this crone energy, this wise woman energy in myrrh, for instance, and magnolia. Well, red mandarin is like the crone of the mandarin family, of the citrus family. So the crone has this really playful aspect to her, as well as the storytelling aspect. So red mandarin is the one that you can turn to when you want to tap into your inner wisdom, when you want to get still but be in your joy, when you want to be playful. The yellow mandarin is like the mother energy, and then the green mandarin is the maiden energy, just like the lang-ylang, yeah? So you have maiden, mother, and crone. So these essential oils, while they bring us joy and elevate our spirit, the mandarins and the citruses indeed have this phenomenal capacity to relax our nervous system. And in a time right now where we're faced with a world that is kind of living in this constant state of sympathetic overdrive, that flight, fight, freeze, that space of exhaustion, the citrus essential oils help to unwind us, help us to just calm, help us to center and come back to our natural state of joy, because our natural state is actually joy. Wild orange, I saw just popped up there, one of my favorites as well. Wild orange for me is like pure joy, joy bubbles in a bottle. Wild orange brings this phenomenal gift of harmony, harmonizing us, centering us. While a wild orange says, my gift to you is joy, wild orange also says, let me dance with you as you're going through your manifestation practices, your inner child practices, your abundance practices. Wild orange and bergamot are phenomenal when you want to kind of summon abundance in all of its forms to you, be it financial or health, love, right? So bergamot with turmeric and ginger and wild orange, that's like an abundance melody, right? So you can generate more wealth in your life with deeper connections, right? Deeper friendships, deeper love. So wild orange helps you not just with this fleeting happiness out there outside of yourself, but this really sustainable place of happiness, of joy that bubbles up from deep, deep within you and lasts. And even when you're faced with the challenges and you're faced with the hardship, you can always choose to come back to joy. It's not always easy, but it's simple and it is a choice. And these citruses are empowering, and they empower us to make the choice to reclaim our birthright to live as joyous, expansive light beings that we actually are. Yeah? Yeah. Okay.
So now you know, whenever we get new fruit oils, and although we have a lot of citrus oils, me and Vanessa realized maybe we could have more. You know, one plant that's very, very generous is the bitter orange tree. It gives us 3 essential oils. From its leaves, it gives us petitgrain. From its blossoms, it gives us neroli. And from its fruit, it gives us bitter orange oil. Now, our doTERRA wild orange essential oil is actually from a sweet orange. So there is a bitter orange essential oil out there, doTERRA, and we wouldn't mind trying that one day as well. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So it sounds like we've gone through the 4 elements, but you may have noticed that we actually haven't talked about all the different parts of a plant that gift us essential oils. So I want to talk to you about the 5th element. This is called either akasha or spirit or even soul. And this is oils that are gifted to us from either the resin or the seeds. Now, these oils really help us to get to the core of who we are. And when we connect to the core of who we are, when we know ourselves, then we can unlock unlimited power. And they often say that the greatest wisdom you can have is self-knowledge or self-wisdom and knowing who you truly are. So I wanted to share a little bit with you about each of the seeds, and each of them will do something slightly different. They help to unlock power or potential within you. So for example, cardamom, a very warming oil, is really great for unlocking the fire within you. Now, it's also great for dealing with anger. And I want you to think about anger and passion for a moment. Both very fiery, but what's the difference? Anger normally feels that it doesn't have an outlet. It can't go somewhere. It's frustrated, it's caught. Whereas passion flows. And did you know that cardamom essential oil physically is really good for the digestive system to get things moving when you're bloated? It's really good for the respiratory system when you're feeling congested. And it's great for massage, especially on the extremities, to get circulation. So cardamom gets the fire within you physically, but also magically flowing again. So when you're feeling frustrated. Now, someone asked about coriander before. Another generous plant. We got coriander seed oil, and they call it in English at least cilantro leaf. So we get the leaf oil and the seed oil. Coriander seed oil is all about being true to yourself. And I find a lot of people, especially people that love their essential oils, are giving people, they're healing people, and often mothers or caring in some other type of way. And what they do is they have their little glass of water and they go around each day and they make sure everyone's got a drink. And at the end of the day, they realize that their glass is empty and they feel tired and they feel depleted. And coriander seed says, what if, rather than emptying your cup, you could put yourself first and fill that cup to the top and feed people from the overflow? So instead of giving to people from everything you have, give them from the excess that you have as well. And that, coriander seeds, sometimes having those strong boundaries and, self-respect is a form of self-love as well. We then have, what other oil? Celery seed is connected to the oceans and seeing our own magic. It's really good when we find that we're comparing ourselves to other people. Which other seeds? I've got to remember my seeds all of a sudden.
Vanilla, cacao.
Yep, vanilla and cacao is going to get to them in 2. I'm trying to think of all the other ones before I finish with the finale.
Dill, did you say dill, darling?
Dill is about awakening our own intelligence. Often these days we're like, I need to Google that. I need to ask someone else. And Dill's like, no. Before you look up the answer, what do you think? What's your own thought? Think for yourself. Human, awakens your own courage. It's got like this warmth. It's almost like a desert in its power in that type of way. Fennel. Yeah, fennel is really good for digestion, and it's good when I like it for cramping, either digestive or menstrual cramping. And when we're doubled over, we can't make a decision. And fennel teaches us that you just need to make a choice. We can't always control everything. We can't control what the government decides or what other people decide, but we can choose how we react. Star anise, like that beautiful star shape, like the heavens, helps us to unlock our ability to be magical, to trust our intuition, something we've forgotten over the many years. And then we have, I guess, the two most magical in some ways of the seeds, vanilla and cacao. Now, before September, when doTERRA released vanilla as a single, and I'm not sure if it's in Europe yet, but I hope soon that it will be. But we still find it in different blends, such as the women's blend that, forgive me if the names are different in Estonia, but it's called Whisper here in Australia. And there's a blend called Amavi, which is for men, and that's got cacao. Now, these two help to unlock what I believe are the two divine rights that every individual has. First of all, the story of vanilla and its creation of its plant is very similar. It's a Mexican story, but it's very similar to Romeo and Juliet, where two lovers who were meant to be together ended up perishing. Their blood fell on the ground, and the vanilla orchid grew from that blood. And so there's this energy around vanilla of pleasure. They wanted everyone to experience the pleasure of life. And so vanilla reminds us, it works really well with the sacral chakra, that we are allowed to have pleasure as part of our daily routine. Often we feel we have to earn pleasure. I have worked hard, so now I deserve pleasure. But if we think, if the Creator gifted us this entire planet with all these different delights, if we're not delighting in them all the time, that's like me giving you a gift, giving you a book, and you're never reading it, or making you a sweet treat and you're never eating it. And so vanilla reminds us that you don't have to earn pleasure, you deserve pleasure all the time. Now, cacao has been used as a currency throughout where it was native to, and then traded around the world. And so it reminds us that we also are allowed to have abundance. And so whenever we're feeling that we can't enjoy our lives, that we're not allowed to, or that we have to restrain again, cacao's like, no, you deserve abundance. So if you're feeling that you don't deserve pleasure or the good things in life, really lean into these oils of vanilla and cacao. And, they're found in different blends, and you can use them in the blends as well. And so I really love the seed oils. So I'm going to hand over to Vanessa to finish off with the resin oils, and then we'll have a few minutes at the end to answer any questions about essential oils at all. So if you have them, please start popping them in the chat and we'll prepare, but I'll let Vanessa talk a little bit about some of our favorite resin oils.
Thanks, Adam. Beautiful. Just a note on cacao, because cacao is such a powerful food as medicine. And in the beginning, maybe can you go on mute, Adam? I've got feedback. I don't know if it's that or not. Let me see now. Testing. Yep, good. So in our book, we actually have some beautiful cacao recipes and food as medicine in terms of ceremonial cacao, which I have right here, and, making raw chocolate, which I have here as well, that I kind of just snack on as I go. So the resins are so beautiful and so supportive to us in our everyday lives. And I think now more than ever, leaning into the resins would be very powerful for everyone, because the trees are actually wounded to gift us the essential oils. Copaiba has just come out in a touch form. You will have seen, plus we have Copaiba in the 15 ml. The tree in Brazil is tapped, and the essence of the tree, the very lifeblood of the tree, comes out, and that's how we receive the essential oil from copaiba, just like maple syrup. For frankincense and myrrh, the resins have such a huge place in my heart. I could do a whole talk just on resins, but frankincense and myrrh, the tree, there's an incision that's made in the bark, and the blood or the tears rise. And we know how healing tears are and the blood is, right? So the tears rise and they are collected. And there's different grades of the resin, which is sorted, and doTERRA only uses the highest quality of these resins. Now, frankincense works with the sacred masculine, and myrrh works with the sacred feminine. You will have heard me reference her often and much throughout this whole presentation because I use myrrh a lot. Myrrh is incredible for your skincare, as is frankincense. They'll both work wonders on your face and on your skin. For any wounding, myrrh, frankincense, and helichrysum are a match made in heaven, right? Copaiba, being a resin, is also fantastic for skin. Copaiba works phenomenally with the pain body, so working very powerfully with the brain, the mind, slowing everything down again, and also working with the CB2 receptors of the brain so that we can alchemize the pain. We can receive relief from the pain when we're experiencing it. Now, we know that it's not always physical pain, right? It's not just tense shoulders. It's heart pain. It's, from grief, for instance, or a breakup. So copaiba, frankincense, and myrrh will work with all of that kind of pain. Yeah? When you find yourself lost and not knowing where to go, these three oils are fantastic to help get you back on your path. They work with your mission, your purpose, your soul purpose. They help you to come into acceptance of who you are because they help you to discover the truth of who you are. Frankincense is like a direct line to the divine, right? Taking you into your own divinity and your light. And copaiba comes in and says, let me help you know yourself again. My gift to you is to know thyself. So as you're going through your transformations, your metamorphoses in life, let copaiba be your ally. When you need to come to a place of restoration, of deep healing, healing in your lineage, archetypal healing, myrrh is a phenomenal support for this as well. So I'll stop there to give you a chance to ask questions for these last few minutes we have together, but I hope that this has been helpful. The resins are about turning inward to access your own divinity, your wisdom, your power, and your potency, and to bring that to the fore, to bring your light to the life you're living so that you can serve yourself and serve humanity and indeed Mama Gaia from this sacred place of knowing thyself again. It's a place of joy, it's a place of expansion, and it's a place where you're constantly or allowing yourself to be open to evolving. Yeah. So there's a question there. How do we order our book in Estonia? Adam, you're on mute, my love.
I've got the information on how to get hold of our book, and I will share that in just a few minutes' time. So we've got some links that you can click on and order anything that you wanted to grab.
Adam, the question was how to get this in Estonia. This is one thing I actually came to first place, to have the ability to translate your book into Estonian. So when you get to so far, then please have us in there.
We would love to do that, and we're working on a few different projects at the moment, and we'd love to. I would love everyone in the world to be able to kind of. Vanessa and I, we often say we don't believe that we are right. We're not correct. But what we do is I guess we open doors for people to start thinking about the oils in different ways. And you may go, oh, yes, I agree with that about rose, but oh, no, I don't feel that about magnolia. And that's what excites us. because you start thinking for yourself again. And so we'd love to have everyone to be able to read our book. And at the moment, unfortunately, it's just in English, but we are looking at how to start getting it in other languages and that as well. So we've had a question, how often do we use oils? So my doTERRA customers actually asked me that once, and so I started counting. And I actually use 77 doTERRA products in a single day, from starting with lemon in my water and air in my shower in the morning, through to what I put on my skin, what I put in my water, diffusers, all those different things. So I think, you know, when we're talking about using oil spiritually, not all of us have time to meditate for half an hour every day or go outside and do these different things. But where we can bring spirituality into our day is just taking a moment to decide, what should I put in my diffuser? Maybe I'll put juniper berry in my water today because I've got a fear. Maybe I'm angry at a partner, so I'm going to put rose on my heart or mix that with my hand cream. And so that's how you can bring the spiritual into the everyday. For me, the oils I use, our box sits in the middle of our house and we access it all the time. So I lose count, but between the oils and all the other doTERRA products, about 77 in one day was how many I counted. Vanessa, did you want to add on to that?
Oh, look, I've never counted, but I'm constantly using them. I usually have anywhere between 3 and 5 bottles of frankincense on the go at a time. My husband laughs at me because I've got one in each of my bags. So I've got 2, so I'll have one in each of those, one on my bedstand, one in my bathroom for aromatic dressing, and then I have them scattered around the house as well. But, you know, it's like the 5th one is by me wherever I work. So it's always, frankincense is always with me. So the biggest way I use essential oils is on my body. So I love aromatically dressing. I love putting them into carrier oil, making beautiful blends. It's my jam, and getting them on my body, getting them on my face, and just using them simply that way. I'm using the doTERRA touch oils. I'm making up my own pure fumes. I've been doing that since I was about 15. And then I will always diffuse. I'm always diffusing and putting them in spritzer bottles because I love to spritz over me and clear space in spritzing. So it's a hard question. And then I'm putting them in my cacao creations and food creations, you know. So I think it's a difficult one, but suffice to say this: the more that you come in contact with them and you take the lids off and don't just use them blindly, but really take a deep breath, like just take a moment to take a deep breath, you'll connect with them. You'll start to hear the voice of the plants and the song of the earth again through them. Yeah. So there's a question there, Adam.
Lena's saying, how do we get the oils that are not available yet? So I'm not sure if that might be that we're talking about vanilla and osmanthus.
Yeah. We ordered them. So when you bought a global convention ticket, you got to buy the convention kit. So that's how we got them. Yeah. And now we'll just wait till they're in market. Yeah. Just like you guys, we'll all just patiently wait till they come out. And usually that's the time of the convention, European and UK convention. You'll have them start to be available. Oh my gosh, the Abode range, amazing, you guys. As soon as that's available to you, please get it. We've been sampling the dishwasher tabs and the laundry tabs and the ice blue or deep blue stick. Oh my gosh, with the copaiba in it is fantastic. Yes, you have it there. It is fantastic. So everything's beautiful. Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought, if I may. Often what happens is, because doTERRA is so committed to proper sourcing and sustainability, is sometimes we can't have all the oils in all the different countries.
That's right.
And, you know, I see sometimes that Japan has a cool oil, or I know in your Christmas catalog you've got some awesome oils.
guys, what is that amazing blend you all have available?
That neshama.
Beautiful.
We can't get to that. So sometimes, you know, we're all like, oh, it's not fair type of thing. But in every country, there is a large variety of oils that are available. And what happens, I find sometimes with essential oils, is we end up speed dating them. We go from one to the next, 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 to the next. And it's like going on dates with 10 partners all in one night. Yeah, by the end of the night, you're like, I can't remember their name. I can't remember if I like them. I can't remember what they're good at. And so what I teach is essential oil monogamy, where it just takes some time with one oil, maybe a week, and maybe it might be lemon, and pop it in your water, and pop it on your solar plexus chakra, and diffuse it, and get to know your relationship with that. And the following week, you can do the same, and with another oil. And as time goes on, you'll really have deep understandings of those oils. And just like you know when something goes wrong in life, you know who you call, either a friend or a partner or a parent or someone. You'll know when you really need it, that you quickly need to grab your spikenard or you need your rose in that way. So I'd really encourage you, although, and I am the same, I want every oil, but what I try and do is I try and just work with one at a time and really get to know them. And when a new oil does come into our country, Australia, I really like to sit with that and get to know that, so I know what role it will play in my life physically, but also spiritually as well. Is there anything you wanted to add on, Vanessa?
No, it's perfect.
No.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been so much fun with you all. I hope you were able to translate fast enough and we didn't go too fast and that everyone enjoyed it. I really hope that you all loved this.
So finally, Vanessa and I are really, really passionate about sharing the education about essential oils. Unfortunately, it's all in English, but you'll see there's two top links that I've just popped in the chat, and they're like menus. So if you click on the Vanessa one, Vanessa, what will people find on your link tree?
So you'll find me at Instagram, but see, pictures speak louder than words. So I have lots of pretty pictures and blends. You'll notice the doTERRA essential oils. I talk about blending and anointing. So you can find me at Instagram. And I have YouTube and lots of other things, lots of beautiful offerings to take you deeper into the realm of essential oils. But like Adam said, it is all in English. But if any of you are English speaking and you would love to join me on any of my courses, I would love to have you. But just come and follow us at Instagram or Facebook, wherever you are, so that maybe you just receive that transmission that you've always wanted. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you click on my link, it'll bring up a whole menu, and you'll find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. I do a weekly podcast. I send out a weekly newsletter. I have courses where they're live and other ones that you can do it self-paced, and a whole range of different things as well. So whatever, however you like to learn, then I've got different ways you can access that as well.
Yeah.
Now, at the moment, if you'd like to purchase our book, it's available from 3 different countries. We don't have someone directly in Estonia that I'm aware of, unless Margaret may know better, but we definitely sell it from the UK, from Norway, and from Ireland.
Margaret's got her hand up.
Yep.
Yeah. Adam, I also wrote to you that I do have the store, the bookstore where I do sell your book. So.
Oh, beautiful. So everyone go to Margaret's store and get it from there.
Yep.
Definitely.
So maybe can you send us the link so that we can update everything to have the link there just send it to Adam and we can have it there to send people to you from Estonia that would like to get the book there.
Okay, I actually did put the link to the chat at the moment as well. So.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Yep.
Adam, grab that. Yeah.
Yep, we'll do for sure. So in closing, just before I hand over to Margaret to say goodbye to you all, I just want to remind you that as we've been sitting here for the last 90 minutes, in over 40 countries around the world, there are plants and trees growing right now. And one day they're going to give us either their wood, their bark, their roots, maybe their flowers, their fruit, their leaves, their resins, or their seeds, so that we may have these amazing essential oils. And I ask, please don't let their sacrifice be in vain. Allow those essential oils to dance with you, use them every day, and allow them to make you better people in this world so you may make this world a better place. On behalf of both Vanessa Jean and myself, thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with us. And Margaret, thank you so much for setting this up and organising it for us as well.
Just so honored and so thankful to both of you and to every and each one who actually joined us in this Zoom call. And me, myself, actually got so many insights, and I already did put juniper berry in my glass because I am an empath. So thank you for this advice. And now I know why I don't like coriander. Okay. So I'm really hoping that everyone got what they wanted from this Zoom, and really, really thankful for everybody. And Adam and Vanessa, you have done an incredible job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
And I also want to say thank you to Melinda, who has been translating being sick at the moment. So let's pray for her that she has fast recovery.
Oh, bless you. Oh, you've got so much emotion in you, Margaret. Thank you, darling. I can feel your tears and your emotion, and it's been an honor. Adam and I love doing this for everyone and being present with you all. And it's a difficult time right now. Yeah. So please remember to be kind to each other, to love each other, just like Mama Gaia loves all of us. Stay close to each other, message each other, connect with each other, check in that you're all doing okay. Because there's a lot happening in the world right now. Be kind, be brave. Yeah. Come back to love. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
We hope to see you again sometime. Take care and blessed be.
Yeah, stay blessed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, bye. Angel spots all over my skin. Someone is saying there, that's gorgeous.